Fadeout, a Day Brandstetter mystery, Book 1, author Joseph Hansen, publisher University of Wisconsin Press, Terrace Books, 1970, narrator Eric Aust. Chapter 17. She was right. The room was untidy. There was a bay window at the front. A chair had been thrown through it. A yellow kitchen chair. It lay broken on the porch roof outside among shattered glass that glittered in the hard sun. There was glass inside, too, on the scarred floor. On the yarny supermarket throw rugs, a bottle had been smashed against the yellow daisy wallpaper and left a runny stain. Books were strewn around. Their open pages stirred in the hot draft from the window. So did papers that had spewed out of a daisy-painted wastebasket with its side kicked in. So did ashes in the fireplace. An overstuffed chair lay on its back like a felled rhino. Mrs. Kincaid righted it and yanked its bleached slipcover straight. "You can bet that made a thump," she said. "Thought the roof had fallen in. Listen, I've been trying to get my swim for hours now. I realize there's been a death and nobody feels worse about it than I do. He was a sweet boy and just as sweet a man. Sweeter. Cuts me up he had to come here and die. Plan was to be happy, and he was happy. Till Doug left." Her mouth twisted sadly. She gave her head a shake. "But life goes on, has to. I need my swim. I'm used to it. Don't know what you expect to find. That tadpole deputy didn't find anything. But you hang around long's you not want." She started for the door. Her rubber go-aheads were held together by grubby strips of adhesive tape. They kicked something that bobbled away like a small brown animal. She picked it up. "I'll say goodbye now, in case you're gone when I get back. I don't mean to hurry. Pretty late like this." "If Sawyer didn't kill him," Dave asked, "who did?" She frowned. "Forlorn's an old-fashioned word, but that's how he was. The little I saw of him yesterday, day before, awfully forlorn. Maybe he took his own life." Dave shook his head. "They found the gun 50 feet from the pier. No fingerprints. You don't shoot yourself through the heart, wipe off the gun, walk to the rail and pitch it into the ocean, go back and lie down and die." "No." Puzzled, she worried her lower plate around. For a bulldog second it stuck out, then she popped it back into place and shrugged. "Well, there was bound to be a strangeness. Neptune and the eighth mystery surrounding the mortality. That's what that means." "Sure," Dave said. "What about the tribe?" "Them? Oh, no." She laughed and shook her head. "No, they believe in life. Hate death. Hate hurting anybody or anything. That much I do know. They're dirty and noisy, and I suppose they smoke that marijuana. And I know it's sex, sex, sex. Morning, noon, and night. They don't care who sees them or much who they do it with." But her mouth turned down at the corners. "Murder. Somebody. No." "How did they get along? With Fox and Doug, you mean?" "I doubt if they so much as spoke. They've got a saying, you know, never trust anybody over 30. Listen, I'm going to get my swim." "Sure," Dave smiled. "Thanks. And for the coffee." She went, and he turned off the smile and looked at the desk. It was a stingy knee-hole type bought as unpainted furniture a long time ago and stained and varnished also a long time ago. A green blotter covered its top. A little copper oil can had made a circle on it. Next to the oil can lay a smudged handkerchief wrapped around a slim ball point pen. The profile of a little Colt's .32 had soaked into the blotter in oil, looking like a Jasper Johns lithograph. There was a pint whiskey bottle, empty, a drinking glass, not quite empty, a crumpled Fritos bag, pencil, felt pen, typewriter, eraser, rubber, pad. The typewriter had set on, all new. The drawers held a clear plastic pack of pencils, a little red plastic sharpener, a ream of yellow sheets, 300 sheets of dime store white. In their torn polyethylene bag, a folder of carbon paper, a dollar booklet with 17 5-cent stamps and 9 cheap envelopes. Not a typed word, not a written word. He knelt to examine the wastebasket, used Kleenex. Pink potato chip bag like a collapsed lung, another empty whiskey pint, the fireplace, ashes. They had been a thickness of pages, 20, 30, typed or else. Why burn them? But they'd been broken up and the wind kept shuffling the charred fragments. Still, there were experts who could make a lot out of a burned piece of paper. He doubted this case was going to need experts, but he looked around for something to block the fireplace opening. A big, spiral-bound sketch pad leaned against the side of the desk. It swung open when he picked it up. Only one page had been used. On it was half a dozen quick pencil sketches, slick, professional. A man stripping and putting on swim trunks. The whole sequence accurate, wryly affectionate, sad. The man was slight, but unmistakably middle-aged. No boy. Different from the sex photos taken in this same room 26 years ago. Dave closed the sketch pad and propped it in front of the fireplace. It almost covered. He looked in the chest of drawers, empty. In the closet, his foot kicked something that rolled into the dark. He stooped for it. The beach ball. A Save-On drugstore special. Giddy whirls of color. No clothes in the closet. The bed had been slept on. Not in. He dropped the ball on the bed and left the room. Going down the hall, he opened doors. The other room smelled hot, shut up, untenanted. No sheets or blankets on the beds. The bathroom was at the end of the hall, old but shiny, except for a rusty circle at the water level of the toilet bowl and a smear of yellow grease in the wash basin. There was nothing in the wastebasket but a twisted spent tube of Kip. An ointment for burns, sunburn. He sniffed the basin. Kip. He stood blinking at it for a minute, then opened the medicine chest. Aspirin and Pepto-Bismol, methiolate, and an unopened box of Band-Aids. A tambourine rattled in the hall below. Dave shut the medicine chest. When he reached the top of the stairs, the tribe was leaving. "Can you wait a minute?" he called. "I'd like to talk to you." They turned and stared at him. The boy had dressed khaki shirt with the arms torn off and the tails out, bell-bottom dungarees, big blue beads, and an iron ankh on a thong. The girl had put on beads, too, and had washed her face. It was shiny. Some strands of blonde hair had got wet and stuck to her cheeks. The baby had the tambourine. He wore midget Levi's and a little puff-sleeve shirt, printed with big purple flowers. There was dried milk on his chin. "Rap?" the boy told Dave in a flat voice. "We'll listen." "Did you know the men upstairs?" "Fags," the girl said. The boy sighed, disgusted at her. He told Dave, "We didn't know them. One of them split Sunday night. The other one got himself shot last night. That's all we know." "Who are you?" Dave told them, and about Fox's disappearance. The boy's teeth showed in the beard. White teeth, big ones, very straight. "Yeah." "Wow, what a trip. Insure yourself, drop out and collect. If he'd stayed alive and you hadn't found him, you'd have had to pay, right?" Dave smiled. After some maneuvering. "How much bread?" $150,000. "Shit!" the boy laughed. "Shit!" The baby had been dancing in a circle on the porch, crouched over, rattling the tambourine above his head. He stopped and came back and stood beside his father, giving Dave a steady blue stare. Dave asked the parents, "You didn't hear anything last night? Douglas, the man who'd left, you didn't see him again? He didn't come back with a twist of smile?" The boy put a hand in front of his eyes. "See no evil," he said. The girl covered her ears. "Hear no evil," she said. "Speak no evil," the baby said, and put his hand over his mouth. "You practiced," Dave said. "I can tell." "Yeah," the boy said, "but it's our only number. No encore." And they turned and left. There was a paid telephone screwed to the wall at the foot of the stairs. The smooth Smithsonian should be told it had to be the first model after the invention of the dial. But it still worked. A printed label was pasted to its coin box. Emergency numbers, chipped at by fingernails, but still readable. He rang the sheriff's substation. He wanted the medical examiner. The deputy wasn't the one he had talked to, but he put the fat man on. and Dave identified himself. The fat man grunted. "2 questions," Dave said. "First, were there any burns on the body?" "Sunburn, scalp. Deceased was going bald back of the neck. Entire back except for the buttocks, backs of the legs, soles of the feet. Not severe." The tribe had left its door open. Dave could see through the dim room to a right side window. The roof of a blue car slid past it. He heard the engine, a 6 with loose tappets. An old car. But no burns from fire. Say on the hands? Nothing like that. The preliminary. Dave heard the car brake at the back of the house. The engine died. The preliminary gave the time of death as between 8 and 10. A car door slammed. Any reason to change that? Contents of the stomach, the fat man droned, indicate about 3 hours after eating. Footsteps thudded on hollow wood. Officer's report says deceased ate at a cafe here about 6 o'clock. Digester process stopped around 9. A screen door flapped shut at the rear of the house. A voice called, "Fox? Fox, I'm back." Footsteps came on, running. "Thanks," Dave told the phone and hung up. When he turned, a man was racing up the stairs, 2 at a time, canvas shoes, seedy tweed jacket. A small man, very light build, like a kid, and with a kid shock of straight brown hair. Like a kid, he grabbed the post at the top of the stairs and pivoted himself toward the front bedroom, grinning. No kid, though. Gray at the temples, gray and a 4-day stubble of beard. Dave sighed and went up after him. A Gay Mysteries audiobooks. I think it is easy to hate a label, but a face humanizes the word. So this effort is twofold. To offer comfort to those like myself that your world didn't end because you don't fit into the view of acceptable society on both sides. And in hopes of helping those with family that are LGBTQ, that it doesn't mean we are aliens from the child they once knew. Reassure them so they can maybe be supportive at the same time, being true to their values.